I certainly can't actually climb myself, but if you go with people who are very good at climbing, they can make sure that you go the right way and hopefully succeed. About 300 meters from the summit ridge of Mount Everest, I had a heart problem. I wouldn't call it a heart attack. It was like elephants suddenly sitting on you. So I thought I was going to get a heart attack only 5 hours from the summit after 72 days getting that far, so it was very annoying. My wife had given me glycerine trinitrate pills in case this happened, and you put one under your tongue and it fizzes and you are meant to still live. So I put the entire packet in and waited, and I didn't get a heart attack, and I got down back to Harley Street within 2 days, which was probably the quickest ever descent of Everest. I found that Everest had no drops. There was no vertigo test at all. Various of the climbing community, who I naturally met up with and listened to their stories, said that there was one much nearer at home which would be a test of vertigo, which was called the Eiger, and so we switched to that one. The vertigo I have not got over, and I've discovered that the best way of preventing it is not to look down at any point, but to focus viciously on the next move in an upwards direction. I've got enough grip to grip a small shaft on that hand, and the other one's perfectly all right. So pretty much the same as anybody else with ice axes. It's when it's rock that I find the big difficulties. I've gradually become aware of hot deserts and looking for lost cities, because I did it for 26 years on and off. And got used to different sorts of polar travel, either Arctic sea ice or Antarctic crevasses and so on, and got used to that, and therefore you could call me experienced at it. But starting the climbing thing, you start right at the bottom of the ladder, and you've got to do what you're told by the people who know. 3 years ago, my wife of 36 years of marriage died of cancer, and within 18 months my mother and 2 of my 3 sisters also died, and I spent a lot of time in NHS wards, and on days when my wife wasn't so bad, we used to go round the other beds, and without fail, the ones who weren't being visited by anybody at all, which is sort of sad to see, said they would prefer to have been with their cat and their pictures and their security of their own place, but they couldn't be financially, unless, of course, you are lucky enough to have a Marie Curie nurse. It's a huge moral help to myself, and in the past to other members of the team, to know that if you succeed, you're going to get a very large amount of money, because very often the public don't pledge money unless you succeed, whereas there are other very generous members of the public who will pledge even though you don't succeed.